Good day, my dear students. Welcome to the grade 8 subject MAPEH, the Music, Arts, Physical Education, and Health. This is Mrs. Emily Pelpinosas, your teacher in this subject from Estaca Integrated School. First, we'll be taking up music. For this week, in the first quarter, you are required to listen perceptively to music of Southeast Asia. When we say listen perceptively, doesn't mean you are just going to listen and forget, but it means you have to use your perceptions, that is your mind and heart, to the music of Southeast Asia. You should listen from the beginning of the music till its end, and that is perceptive listening. For this quarter, you are going to study on the Southeast Asia music. Maybe you are asking, where is Southeast Asia? What are the countries that are under this group of islands? The countries are Philippines, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, Malaysia, Singapore, Brunei, Indonesia, Myanmar, and East Timor. So, do you know where these countries are? Now, identify the countries that are in the map. Answer in your activity sheet provided. Be sure to read carefully the instruction given. The first country that we are going to tackle is Cambodia. Cambodia is one of the most beautiful countries in Southeast Asia. It is also known as Kampuchea. It was the center of the Khmer Cambodian Kingdom of Angkor, a great empire that dominated Southeast Asia for 600 years. Their music gained a worldwide reputation in the 1960s until the dramatic political problems in Cambodia. Art music is highly influenced by ancient forms as well as Hindu forms. Cambodian court music is roughly similar to that of Java, Indonesia. The Pinpiat is a Cambodian musical ensemble or an orchestra that usually accompanies ceremonial music of the royal courts and temples. Music is always part of their court dances, mask plays, shadow plays, and religious ceremonies. This group is similar to the Pifat ensemble of Thailand and usually consists of 9 or 10 instruments. It's time to listen to Cambodia Pinpiat. If Cambodia has a Pinpiat ensemble, do other Southeast Asian countries have their own musical ensembles? Let's find out. Another country we'll discuss is Indonesia. Indonesia is an archipelago in Southeast Asia comprising approximately 17,500 islands. With over 238 million people, Indonesia is the world's fourth most populous country and is the fourth biggest nation of the world. There are two basic kinds of Indonesian music scale. One is the slendro, or the 5 equidistant tones in octave. Second, pilok, heptatonic or 7-tone scales with semitone. Both vocal and instrumental music in Indonesia are slendro and pilok scale. Polyphonic stratification kind of melody is a result of hacket or interlock. The gamelan or gamelan orchestra is the most popular form of music in Indonesia. There are many types of gamelan, but the famous Javanese and Balinese gamelan are the most famous. It contains a variety of instruments such as metallophones, xylophones, kindang, and gongs, bamboo flutes, bowed and plucked strings. So, Cambodia has the Pinpiat ensemble, while Indonesia has the Javanese and Balinese gamelans. However, the Indonesian gamelans have singers performing with them. Do other Southeast Asian countries have singers as well as their musical ensembles? Let's move on. Myanmar was known as Burma until 1989. The country's name was officially changed by the military government that took over in 1988. Early civilization in Myanmar dates back to the 1st century with archaeological evidences of the few kingdoms of Tayekitaya, Sri Sitra, Betanu or Vishnu, and Hanlin. The music of Myanmar or Burma has similarities with many other musical traditions in the region, including Chinese music and Thai music, probably because its longest land border is shared with China. The body of the Saungyuk is made of padauk, the famous Myanmar mahogany. The flat bar is made of catchwood and it is covered with the leather of a female deer. The strings are made of silk. Myanmar not only has musical ensembles but also an extensive collection of classical songs called the Mahajita. These songs are divided into different types, like the oldest repertoire, royal court music, songs of longing, horses dance songs, worship songs for Burmese spirits, What can you say about that music? It's remarkable, right? Well, let's move on to another country. Malaysia is a constitutional monarchy in Southeast Asia. The country is multi-ethnic and multicultural, which plays a large role in developing their culture. The constitution declares Islam the state religion while protecting freedom of religion. Malaysian music is largely based around percussion instruments. The music of Malaysia may be categorized into two types. First, classical and folk music emerged during the pre-colonial period and still exist in the form of vocal, dance, and theatrical music. Second is the syncretic or acculturated music developed during the post-Portuguese period in the 16th century. Musical ensembles and types of performances in Malaysia. Number 1. Agong and Kulintang. This is a gong-based musical ensemble commonly used in funerals and weddings in East Malaysia. This type of ensemble is similar to the kulintang of the Philippines, Brunei, and Indonesia. Number 2. Kertok. This is a musical ensemble from the Malay Peninsula that consists of xylophones played swiftly and rhythmically in traditional Malay functions. Number 3. Biker Barat. This is a type of musical form that is important to Malaysia's national culture. It is performed by singing in groups and often in a competitive manner, usually in percussion instrumental accompaniment or sometimes without instruments at all. And last, number 4, is Silat Milayo. This is a form of martial art that is similar to Tai Chi. It originated in the Malay Peninsula since the Christian era and is a mixture of martial arts, dance, and music, usually accompanied by gongs. Now, I'm gonna show to you this Malaysian music. It is actually a Medan Bekara Permainan Kertok Kelantan. Do you think the other countries have this too? Let's move on. Thailand, formerly known as Siam. Thailand is known for being the sole nation in Southeast Asia that has never been ruled by a Western power. It is for this reason that the country is also called Muang Thai, which means land of the free. History and geography indicates that Thai music is a conglomeration of Asian influences. Its musical principles and elements are basically derived from Chinese music, while its musical instruments are inspired from the Indian and Indonesian strings and gong chimes. Thailand has 3 primary instrumental ensembles that are similar to the other ensembles in Southeast Asia. Number 1, Pifat. It is a mid-sized orchestra that is performed in either outdoor style with hard mallets or indoor styles with padded mallets. This ensemble has different types, but the highly ornate one is traditionally associated with funerals and cremation ceremonies. Other versions of the Pifat ensemble are used to accompany specific forms of traditional Thai drama, such as the large shadow puppet theater or Nang Yai, and the Kon dance drama. The second, Kroyang Sai. It is an orchestra that combines some of the percussion and wind instruments of the Pifat with an expanded string section. This group is primarily used for indoor performances and for the accompaniment of stick puppet theater. And the third is the Mahori. This ensemble is traditionally played by women in the courts of central Thailand and Cambodia. Because of this, instruments for this ensemble are historically smaller. However, regular-sized instruments are used today. A vocalist performing with the Mahori is usually accompanied by the Sosam Sa. And last but not the least country that we're going to visit is where the mare lion is found, Singapore. The Republic of Singapore is an independent republic in Southeast Asia, comprised of one main island and about 50 small adjacent islands off the southern tip of the Malay Peninsula. About three-fourths of the people of Singapore, known as Singaporeans, are Chinese, but there are significant minorities. Singapore's cultural life reflects its colonization by the British Empire and its diverse population. Being the melting pot of different cultures in Asia, folk music in this country reflects the culture and tradition of specific groups. The ethnic groups which made a prominent place in the musical world of Singapore have been Chinese, Indian Malays, and Tamils. Other minority Asian ethnic groups which have also made a mark in the folk culture of Singapore are the Cantonese, Hokkien, and Malay Bangwasan. Through the years, the music industry in Singapore grew, having Western influenced performances by the Singapore Symphony Orchestra as well as ethnic music performances mainly by the Singapore Chinese Orchestra. Other performing groups with Malay and Indian influence are still prevalent until today.